welcome to News at Prime.
Good evening. Thank you very much for the warm welcome.
So, explain what happened over the last 7 days. What were some of the key learnings, and also what's to come in phases 2, 3, and 4?
Yeah, it was, first of all, a wonderful opportunity for us, up and young coming coaches. And it was a good experience to share the room with a few of the highly experienced coaches in the PSL and even from the Mutsipe League. So it's a wonderful opportunity for us to grow. And above everything else, for me, it's about getting aligned with the rest of the world. CAF aligns us with all the African coaches that we can even have an opportunity now to grow coach overseas. But above everything that we went through, it was just understanding the style of play for South Africa as a country, and also the way that we should be handling principles of play, and also understanding the standard that should be set for coaches and everything else. It's just being understanding again to say that we need to be credible. It gives us the credibility to the rest of the continent, and above everything else, the wisdom that was in the room. Wow, magical.
You mentioned some of those renowned coaches that were there, Eric Tinkler, Gavin Hunt, Bobby Solomons, guys that have been around for a long time. Did you find that there was a lot more learning between the coaches rather than like with the lecturers that were actually teaching?
Well, I think it just culminated very well to say that the experience that they have with what we were taught, it aligns very well in the sense that we don't really need to dig deeper into what the book says, but the experience that we are surrounded with gives you the practical side even before going to the practical on the field. So it's just as special like that.
So this diploma is 200 hours. This is phase 1.
400.
400 hours. Wow. Okay. So what do you now do in phases 2, 3, and 4?
Well, the upcoming, I think we're not really certain of what's going to happen, but from this first phase where we did the analysis part of the matches, and part of our assignment was to do the assignment of the early afternoon match against Rwanda that we've unfortunately lost. Okay. So we got to give the report when we come back, and also align ourselves with the professional teams in the PSL to do our log book. So it's not just going into a phase 1 week and then you go home, you think that you're done. No, it's a long process that will be ending in June, but it brings nothing except excitement to us.
Okay, so give us the inside scoop. What does your technical analysis say of South Africa's performance against Rwanda today?
Look, I think, one, the conditions didn't really allow us to play our match. And looking at the selection of the team that we went with, it was almost the same team that we finished with on our last match on Saturday, which meant that we could have been analyzed better by Rwanda, because we finished the match how we started. And it gave them an opportunity to study us better, and dealing with those high balls behind us and the untested combination of the center pairing of Kulu and Sibisi meant that unfortunately we struggled with those long balls that came behind us. And I felt that second half there were 1 or 2, 3 opportunities that you'll always expect to get when you play away, because they defended on a very, very deep low block, and we really struggled to penetrate through it. And the slowness of our attack also contributed. I personally think so, because we were just being patient, because I feel that our game now says patience up until we find the right opportunities. And unfortunately today, the few opportunities that we found, we didn't take use.
Yeah, and I suppose also fixing our second half of the game, this marked difference that we have between the first and the second half, just getting more consistent performance from the team throughout the entire 90 minutes.
Yeah, it means a lot. It means a lot. Concentration, we need to concentrate from the first whistle up until the last minute. And unfortunately today, how we started, and with the thunderstorm that fell on the field a few minutes before kickoff, I think probably if it had happened a few minutes earlier before our warm-up, we would have adjusted better And now you go into the changing room, it's nice and warm even though it's cloudy, but you come out, the field it's wet. I don't think that it gives you an opportunity to adjust. But hey, these players are professional players. We should be able to adjust to all the conditions that you are faced with.
And coach, there is that famous line, the conditions are the same for everyone.
Of course, yes. Both teams played on the same pitch,
yeah.
But unfortunately, again, I'm just wondering to myself, whether did we get an opportunity to practice on the synthetic pitch? Because the last match we played, which was less than 3 days ago, we played at Moses Mabhida, and I assume that we had traveled the same night or even the day after. The big question is that, was the match day -1 practice session enough for us to adjust to such conditions?
Yeah, I suppose also part of your learnings during this CAF license is to understand how to manage those things, because if you want to be a winning team, you've got to know how to travel, you've got to know how to have quick turnarounds, you've got to know how to be in a different dressing room where the floors are not as great as the home team's floors, and all of the other challenges that come with traveling, like any team gets.
Yeah, that's so true, and it's not just at Bafana level. I mean, at this moment, I'm at Grey College in Bloemfontein. We start by teaching the boys that they need to experience the feeling and grasp the feel of being an away team. And if the conditions are not as good as your home field, you must also adjust. And that adjustment, sometimes you might not have a week to adjust, but you're planning towards that week or that match that you're going to be faced with. It means to speak that you will be away, even from training. Make your players feel that they are slightly away. Simulate those type of situations that you're going to be faced with.
The Grey College in Bloemfontein is known as the Springbok Nursery. So what's it like to be the director of football at, this institution known for its rugby?
Yeah, it's a great challenge. It's a fantastic challenge that we've embarked on. I mean, when I started the role last year, it was just about making sure that we close the gap around against the schools that are around us in Bloemfontein first. And then the headmaster decided that this year we're going to take it a notch further to say that it's not about closing the gap anymore. Last year we had enough time. Let's try to be the #1 in the province, and of which that we slowly but surely moving towards that direction. If someone is to come to me now and ask me where do I think that we fare, or how do you think that where we're rating, I would easily say that for sure in the province now we should be ranking amongst the top 5, which is something that we're outside that bracket for quite some time. So in the 2 years that we've worked together with the coaches, staff, and the support from the school governing body and everybody involved, we are taking big strides, if I should put it that way.
With a college like Grey that understands the future prospects for somebody that's good in sport, how long before we see the province benefit from those youngsters coming from Grey College, that we actually get an all-conquering team from the Free State province in the top flight of South African football? Because that's certainly something many from the province that is heartbreakingly missing.
Yeah, I think the only top athlete or top footballer that I can think of currently that came out of Grey is Tshepo Mabasa, who's amongst the top goal scorers currently in the DStv PSL chart. It's a big challenge for us, and unfortunately everything needs to be processed. And when you have a long-term plan, it does not end now. And with a school like Grey College, that doesn't really limit the young ones to focus on one particular sport. Actually, we encourage the young athletes to play more sports, so that it enhances their ability of reaching out to other avenues that they never thought of. They might think that their talent is in hockey, rugby, or even cricket, only to find that their best bet to make it pro is football. So we don't really limit our boys. We just open the net to make it bigger. and hope that we can identify one or two that we can nurture and help him to focus on a particular sport. And again, the other side of Great College is that we not only focus on the sport, we're still the number one in the province academically. So we also encourage the boys to try and find the balance in the early age to study whilst playing their sports, because the core business is education. It's not only just sport. So it's just that process where we teach kids to find balance and hope that with everything that happens, they will achieve what it's destined for them.
Great College Director of Football Mandla Trayo was one of 25 coaches that began the CAF A license diploma with SAFA. And it's actually a CAF stipulation that coaches who want to compete in continental competitions with their club or with their country require a CAF A license. So certainly a great thing that coaches in our country now have the opportunity once again to do the CAF A license. That concludes your sports in this hour. We'll have more sport for you in the next hour. Do stay with News at Prime.